Hello, my name is Rahel Mathew, and I am the CEO and co-owner of Maximyz. And beside me is my husband and business partner, Matthew Mathew, who is also the president of the company. Matthew's background is in engineering and my background is in design, but together we are creatives. We are both certified brain bootcamp trainers by UCLA because we believe everything you do must exercise the mind to stay fit. The purpose of Maximyz is to stress the importance of the understanding of oneself as well as others. We believe it's important in order for you to be a great communicator, you must understand why people think the way they do, and how they communicate is a reflection on how they think and how they convey their message. So I'm asking, have you ever played an escape room game before? We love the escape room game. And if you have not played this before, it's about getting locked up in a room that is themed and you have to find a way to escape the room, and you have 60 minutes and it is a think hard and forget all your differences and try to escape out the door. We loved it so much. We've played so many escape rooms together that we decided to open our own escape room. We owned the escape room for almost over 4 years, and we decided we got to do something more, because after looking at so many teams come and play our games, we found out that we're only entertaining people, which is great, but we realized there's something missing. Back in 2019, I started reading a lot of books, and one of the crucial books that pivoted our change is the book called Finding Your Why by Simon Sinek. And reading this, I realized that and started asking questions like, why are we doing what we're doing? Why are we entertaining people using these games? And how does it feel? And I realized there's something missing. My why was missing. Our why was not being satisfied. So we decided to look at each other and find what those were. And we realized Matt and I are very different, not just from the way we look. Our race is different. We also have religious differences. Our age is different. Our cultural backgrounds are different. And so we have a lot of differences that will probably have us kill each other by now, but we survived. And that is because our communication is what is getting us through. Through all these differences, we are able to communicate and get our message across. And that is because we stay open-minded and try to learn more about each other and work through those differences together. So we thought about how can we train people to better communicate using these games. So currently, when we train, we go and watch videos or read books or participate in workshops in order to gain or acquire skill. So this is what the chart looks like when we learn. But if there is no repetition, then most of the time we forget. After you watch a video today, I will take in some information, but I'll lose about 90% of it by the end of the week. So we thought, okay, what can we do to make that even better then? We looked at how we had played sports before. Matt was in sports when he was younger, and so was I. And we've both been in teams during our career. And we wondered, what is the difference with these strong teams? What makes the Super Bowl team win? And we realized it is this repetitious practice. You learn something, you repeat, practice repetitiously, and then that gets you to remember what you've learned. So our solution in Maximyz looks like this, where we train people and then we make them practice and then we give them feedback and they repeat the loop over and over in order to keep what they've learned in mind. Our training consists of a 1-hour session. In the first 15 minutes, you learn a simple lesson about communication, and then you immediately put what you've learned into the game and practice. Then after the game, we get to debrief for 15 minutes. Post-game, you get a report about how you performed during the experience. And then we also give you a report about how the team overall performed during the experience. And doing this 1-hour session once a week and repeating that over time until everyone is comfortable with the topic being learned. And speaking of topics, the areas that we cover, which we feel are essential in order to understand, again, yourself and others, is in inclusive communication. We address things such as bias, gender, generation, and culture. We also look at psychological safety and the importance in that in teams, emotional intelligence, and the personality discovery of the teammates. This is an example of what our games look like. Each individual participant gets a different part of the puzzle, and they are not able to show any of their team members what they can see on their side. So it causes them to have to communicate. And in this example, for example, you can see there's like signs and symbols. So a person would say, hey, I have a star. What do you have? And they try and figure out what does that mean with what the other people have. And so there's a lot of communication, but also it causes teammates to be inclusive, because if one person does not participate, no one will win. Here is an example of what the feedback looks like. When we take on a team, we do an assessment report on the entire team composition. Then we recommend which areas they should focus on practicing, such as psychological safety or personality discovery. Then when they look at this report, they have a score. Each individual gets a score, and their goal is to increase this score over time. When we look at every player during the 1 hour session when they're playing, we actually record the session, and then we use artificial intelligence to categorize what they have said during the experience, whether it's things that they should more of, such as being encouraging or support someone else's opinions, or things that they should do less of, such as interrupting. So you get this all put up in a report, and you can see how much you spoke compared to someone else and what areas you need to improve the next time. Once you get that information, after you get the feedback, then we give you also guided advice on how you can improve on the things that you're not doing so well in. For example, if in your report you have you are doing maybe a little bit too much interruption, we give you some advice on how you can stop doing that. I know that in this experience using Zoom, it's very easy to interrupt. So we kind of give you tips and tricks on how you can go through that without interrupting others so much. Thank you. This is Rahel and Mathew Heineke at Maximyz.